growing economy at that time in 2005. I saw opportunity, I felt that 5-6 years later, there is going to be a huge market. A lot of mothers are juggling, work and home, and it's going to be every mother's desire.
I was very clear that I wanted to build a career in this. You see, hoteliering is a lifestyle choice. You're either in it or you're not in it. There are just no other ways around it.
Because you've really been able to attract very smart, intelligent, and girls who are, really adding to the value here at Oberoi Realty. And you guys, give yourselves a big clap. For those who yet haven't crossed paths with me, I'm Vidhi Kapoor. I would now like to introduce our panelists. We have a panel discussion. Two extraordinary individuals who have left an indelible mark in their own fields. Let us welcome warmly Sujatha Duvvuri and Malvika Sahay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. First of all, a big salute to all of you and a happy Women's Day. अर्ज किया है, कुछ अपना अंदाज है, कुछ मौसम रंगीन है, तारीफ करूं या चुप रहूं, जुर्म दोनों ही संगीन है. Thank you. I've been well accepted, Sarina. Thank you. So please welcome Sujatha. Thank you so much for being part of us. And tell us about your entrepreneurial journey that you started at the age of 40, especially after fulfilling time of being a mom and a wife. What inspired you to start your own business?
Hello, everyone. I want to first begin by thanking Sarina and Oberoi Realty for having me here on such a special day. I want to wish all the women over here a very happy Women's Day. And coming to my story, like you mentioned, as a young mother, of a 2-year-old, I often felt, when I walked into a grocery store to pick something for my child to eat, I really was not convinced about the ingredients on the box. And just taking you back a bit, I'm an economics major, but I felt that, okay, it's time to now start making something that you can cater for your child. Being a typical Indian mother, you want ki thoda height zyada ho, badam thoda bada de, protein has to be more. So I started making his breakfast granola, which is the first meal that your child eats before he or she goes to school. So as a mother, I wanted him to have sustained energy throughout the day, so that he's not, losing focus in class or school. Even at the age of 2, this is how I was thinking. So that's how I started making granolas, which is the breakfast cereal. Long story short, I was moved to India because of my husband's job. And I figured India is a growing economy at that time in 2005. I saw opportunity, I felt that 5-6 years later, there is going to be a huge market. A lot of mothers are juggling, work and home, and it's going to be every mother's desire. And it just so happened that my kids went to Oberoi, and one of the mothers called me and said, my kid keeps talking about something that your child eats. And what is it? And I said, it's just a breakfast cereal. She says, can I buy it? That was the first pack that I sold. Till then, it was just, me making it for my children and just giving it away to friends and family and, different people who I came in touch with. It just so happened that one of those packets happened to reach Parmeshwar Godrej and their family in one of the gift hampers. It's amazing how things take you, right? The journey starts over there, and that's how I got my first Nature's Basket.
Lovely. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I mean, I'm not getting into details, but from a home entrepreneur making something in my microwave, very happy, taking care of my family, my kids, and doing something which I'm passionate about, I was shaken to think big, right? I was taught that, okay, now you have to get out of your home kitchen into something that is going to cater to a retail chain. And I still remember my husband asking me, so what do you plan to do now? How are you going to cater to Nature's Basket? You just are working out of one microwave. And I was so naive, and I still think about it. I said, I'll just buy another microwave. Because no, that's not how it's going to work. Now, if you really want passion to, to grow and get out of the home kitchen, you need to think scale. You need to, and then everything else was just flowing. And it was my dream, because I had moved from the US. I had created these products, like later I innovated crackers. You know what your consumer wants. You always think of your consumer, think of what your consumer's demands are going to be. What are the young mothers? What are the youth? What is the population going to demand, as you go along? And you innovate based on that. And that's how I created these products, one after the other. There were crackers, there were biscottis, there were bars. Basically, I wanted to take over the entire day of the woman and the homemaker.
Lovely. Great. Wishing you all the very best. Very inspiring. Malvika, good evening. I can really resonate to where you may have started, especially because I myself is a hotel management graduate.
Wonderful.
But believe you me, because it was so tough that I didn't work in any of the hotels. The only F&B I have worked is Narula's, if you remember or know. Yes, hot chocolate fudge, oh God. And then from there on I said, no, it's not my cup of tea. So coming to your success story, we really wanted to know that you started your career in the age of 22. What challenges did you face in a very male-dominated hospitality industry, and what were the key ingredients for you to keep rising in this leadership role?
Well, first of all, a very, very, very warm welcome to each one of you. And I also want to say that we did not coordinate all of us to be in whites. So that's just how ladies think at times. But coming back to your question, I was an accidental hotelier. Both my parents are lawyers with the central government. Never have seen any hotelier before. But I remember the time that I joined Vaksha, which is the Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration. I was very clear that I wanted to build a career in this. You see, hoteliering is a lifestyle choice. You're either in it or you're not in it. There are just no other ways around it. So I was a management trainee with the Taj. So I finished my college, I joined the Taj group of hotels. And what happens is they take only about 18 people from across the country, and then they train you for about a year and a half, and then you join as a manager. As luck would have it, my first posting was Taj Coromandel, Chennai. If some of you, can I have a show of hands if anybody's from Chennai here? Oh, tough audience, okay. But that's a hotel that's a very, very old hotel. By that I mean it started in 1978. And pardon me, but I'm going to use a little bit of Hindi, so bear with me. The first thing when I walked into the hotel, one of the stewards tells me, "Madam, jitna aapka umar nahi hai, utna to maine PL le liya hai." So it started with that, So how do you go from there as somebody who's their boss on paper and who has to follow a certain sense of hierarchy? If I may give one quick answer to this, I think it is just ensuring that you give respect to experience, and then it flows the other way around as well. a lot of times you will realize that you are being judged or you're not being understood, not because you are doing something wrong or not because you're doing something right, but it is mostly to do with what the other person has been through in their life. And the minute you start thinking in that direction, of course it still does affect you, but it won't hurt you. So I would just say that my journey has been extremely buoyant. It's been a learning curve, a steep one at that. I was thrown into the deep end right in the beginning of my career. But that taught me that you can win over people. It just is one brick at a time. So thank you.
Super. And I seriously believe that, this one stream of business or work really tells you how to be a people's man, because you are, or people's women, sorry, my bad. And how, to speak to each one of them coming from various experiences, various walks of life, and bring them and align them to what exactly you wish to achieve. So, brilliant. Thank you.
Absolutely. What I meant that it's a lifestyle choice is being a hotelier changes you as a person. You start to believe and genuinely do at times that you can do whatever, anything that is thrown at you. Because hotels are, please understand, it's like a world, right? It's like a moving part. A lot of times things that are in your control and a lot of times they are not. But once you work in them, once you get absorbed by them, you realize that nothing is impossible. So that's my takeaway from being a hotelier for sure. Yes.
Great. Sujatha, I'm sure it's not easy, to compete with certain very reputed brands, global brands, both in India and in US. How did you stay competitive, motivated, and agile in this fast-changing world of consumer brands?
So to put things in perspective, like I mentioned, when I would visit a grocery store, I would look at the box and I would look at the ingredients, I would look at the nutrition, and just like a young mother, I was not very convinced. That was the guardrail I put for myself, that when I create a product, the ingredients have to be something that people can really relate to. They have to read it and figure, okay, I have this in my kitchen. It's not more chemistry. It's actually something which they know they can pronounce. Typically, if you look at big brands, they have 100 things written. There is a lot more preservatives and there is a lot more that goes into making that product perfect, because it has to stay on the shelf for that long, because it has to move, it has to go through distribution, etc. I kept it very simple. I wanted something to only last 3 to 4 months. So I made sure that I had a clean label preservatives which were out of sunflower seeds or, vitamin E, kept it very clean. So whether it is, for the consumer in India or whether it's for the consumer in the US, it's something that they relate to. And they come to us and they pick a small brand like mine because they feel that it's a mother who has put in a lot of thought for her children. I've put in a lot of thought for the consumer. It's not something that I am making because I'm looking at profits. I'm making it because this is what I made for my children. This is what I want everyone, to feel safe that they're consuming something which does not have a laundry list of chemicals in it. And to be very frank, we attracted companies like PepsiCo and Nestle, and we've done a lot of innovation and product development for brands like PepsiCo and Nestle. Like for the Quaker brand, there were granolas that we innovated for them. And then for Nestle as well, we've innovated a few products here and there. So what is it that attracted them to us? It was the simplicity, and it is this agility that a startup has. Like for example, if there is a product that doesn't move for us in the market, what do? We just pull it off. Whereas if it's a big brand, there is so much that they have to, to go through. I don't need to even say that. It. If a big brand has to pull something off, it's it's going to take a lot. Whereas for me, I mean, it's like, if it didn't work, it didn't work. I have not much to lose. So I wouldn't say that it's competing with them. They are amazing where they are because they have huge teams, they have huge R&D facilities and all of that. But there are some things that make a startup special. And I think agility and change, because we change so quickly, we adapt so quickly, because there is not much for us to, worry about.
Interesting. I still wonder what is the point of having such large R&D facility when a mother cannot be convinced.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
Crazy.
And keeping our homemakers in mind. I mean, every one of us, we want the best for our family, right? Not everyone has the time to go around looking that, okay, if I'm picking this is going to be safe for my. So ideally, everything, you should just be able to pick anything and feel, yes, my family is safe consuming this. But if I have to constantly look for those hidden ingredients, right, that could be harmful for my child or for my family, then it's not worth it. So it all started with that. I had guardrails that this is safe, and no matter what, these are the guardrails in which I'm going to create a brand. And any mother or any homemaker or any youth should be able to just consume it and not worry about something hidden in there.
Brilliant. Malvika, it's not easy to rise the ranks in the hospitality industry, besides the long working hours in operations. And I remember myself doing that and hopping onto tractors to cars, and that time there used to be call centers, so used to take lift in Delhi, 10 rupees, and he will take you miles and miles away. I was at Surya Sofitel, by the way, at New French Colony. Anyways, so long working hours in operations. There are a lot of women in sales and marketing and HR especially. What were some of the things you needed to do to stay the course?
One word, I think I dreamed to be a general manager one day, and I was very keen on this goal since I started my journey. What has helped me to be here, one is of course perseverance. You will have hard days. You most certainly will have hard days, but always look out for those days because they make for some fantastic stories later. There have been times that, funny story, I should speak about this. So there was a time that I was at a hotel and just moved there, and we won this interesting bid to do an outdoor catering. Now that hotel was, of course, working in a manner that was not conducive to an outdoor catering of the sheer magnitude that we had done. It scared me, it had cast all its doubts that what would happen, and in hoteliering it has to be a success, right? Because somebody is paying for those services, so there's no opportunity of you going wrong, so it has to be 100% success. But I remember this was for an IPL, so please imagine catering to 2,000 people, managing different areas, and it was one of the most challenging times of my life, I would definitely say, as a professional. But I also remember at 3 a.m. in the morning when we finished, the way the team responded, I had, I think, never seen that sort of synergy. So, tough times definitely bring out the toughness of people, but if you stay true to your path, you will also realize that it gives you energy to move on. And lastly, find your mentors. I could not say this enough, and I've never said this more, but I would definitely say that in hoteliering, in your professional world, in your personal times, find somebody to lean on to. I think we as women have had so much of social conditioning wherein we feel we can do it all. And most of the times we do it all. But there are those times that you need that little extra support, that little guidance when sometimes our judgments are clouded. I have been blessed to have some incredible mentors in my professional journey. One of them is right here. He's supporting me. That's Sumit Suri, our general manager.
Good evening, sir.
But find those people who are happy in your success. Find those people who will nudge you, who will push you, but they won't let you fall. So I think that's been my secret to success.
Very recently, we also conducted a mentor-mentee program. And of course, it was internal. Where is my mentee? There. Hello. Okay, so there was a very recent government data this week revealing female workforce participation crossed 40% mark for the first time. I think that's great. However, as the ratio of women willing to join the workforce rises, their participation in the economy is declining. This means lesser number of women in leadership roles. I would like to have Sarina's thoughts on this.
Thank you, Samir. Yeah, I have seen, I've had a career of over 32 years now, and I think in the last 5 to 8 years, there has been this great influx of women in the workforce. When I walked into Oberoi Realty, I was very surprised to see that we had a large number of women working in the real estate company. So I come from two industries, that's hospitality and real estate, male dominated, totally. And I remember saying it to Vikas, I'm really surprised. So he said, why are you surprised? So I said, because you've really been able to attract very smart, intelligent and girls who are, really adding to the value you at Oberoi Realty. And you guys, I mean, give yourselves a big clap. However, I am the only person in the senior management, and I really feel very lonely at the top. So,
Come on, Sarina, don't do that.
Okay,
You
Sameer.
feel lonely. I'm your neighbor.
You're always there as my cheerleader. Thank you. Why do we lose women? After the managerial level and the GM levels, why don't we not see them growing up to leadership roles? And I think there are three things. One is we don't present ourselves well. I mean, as a marketer, there's something called personal branding. The men do it very well. They talk about their achievements, they brag all the time, but women don't brag. They don't want to talk about their achievements, and they don't want to say that this is what we have done or we've achieved. Why? It's your achievement, and I think you need to present it well. And you need to be on those platforms and those networking opportunities and LinkedIn and wherever else you'd want to be, not bragging, but just talking about yourself. And I always feel that you know that you are talented, you know what you bring to the job, you know how resilient you are and what you're capable of, but the world doesn't know it until you talk about it and until you present it. So I think this is one thing that we kind of fail to do, and then we don't reach the top. The other bit is our executive presence. This is something that we really need to work on. I see women diminishing themselves in a meeting, in the boardroom. They don't speak up. They don't share their opinions. They feel very inferior in front of their bosses or the senior management. And I think your voice needs to be heard. You need to work on that. So I think if you do these two things, people will start taking you seriously. And I think that's the problem. People don't take you seriously if you do not assert yourself, present your achievements, and talk about your work. So, I mean, we're here to talk about our work. We're not here to talk about how great we are, in our personal lives. So I think this is something that we need to really work on. And a lot of women talk about we need better policies, we need equal opportunities, we need the government to do better, and we need our bosses to think better. But what are you doing to present yourself better, to work on your executive presence, to talk about your achievements, and to be focused? We also get distracted very easily by all the things that are happening around us. So we need to be a little more focused on what like Malvika said, it is her dream to be a GM. She's not going to let that dream go until she reaches there one day. So, don't get distracted by all the gossip and this one said that and that one said that and all those kind of things. You need to be really focused on where you want to be and what you want to do. So I think that's when you reach a point when people can take you seriously.
Thank you, Sarina. Malvika, how do you really practice inclusivity and diversity in your business at the Marriott? And what, according to you, needs to be addressed, improved, and introduced to make your workplace, our workplace, more equitable?
I have worked with the Taj Group of Hotels, the Leela, and now with Marriott. I definitely see a push. People are talking about it, right? But you've got to walk the talk. What I feel is important is to build this community, to have a sense of belonging in a very professional capacity. I think it's extremely important that we women are able to network. I have seen so many of my gentlemen friends to talk, network, ask for assistance, guidance. But I think we as ladies always feel, oh, what would this person say if I said I don't know that? Or what would this person say if I asked for a little bit extra? So I think जब तक मांगेंगे नहीं तो मिलेगा नहीं. So at least पूछना तो ज़रूरी है. I think that is one step. But Marriott being Marriott, I think there is a lot of work that is happening in terms of women empowerment. For that matter, Ms. Ranju Alex, she is the head of all of our leadership hotels in our region. So that speaks a lot about in terms of women having their share at the table. So I think that is a great work in progress, and we have to see some great results now.
Lovely. And we are so happy we have signed recently a couple of deals
We are
with Marriott.
very happy
Look
with
forward
that.
to increase
Yes.
the portfolio to 4 hotels. So yes.
Fantastic luxury. Why do you think I shared my goal? Just saying.
Lastly, what is the one advice, and this is for all 3 ladies, what advice that you would give your younger self, or what is it that you would do differently if you were 21 again? Yeah, na? Interesting, no?
I am 21.
Perfect. So please go ahead, enlighten all of us.
We're all 21. Actually, I want to go back to what Sarina was saying. That women have to have the focus. You have to have a certain, a milestone or a goal or something. And I want to, sorry for not answering your question right now and going back to what Sarina was saying. When I graduated, from my university at whatever 18, all my friends were interviewing with global corporations. Okay. I was very clear, I don't want a job. And I had my parents, I had my grandparents telling me that you're stupid. After studying at a university like wherever you are in the University of Michigan, aren't you supposed to be taking up a job? I said, no, this is not what I see myself doing. And I was exactly 19 at that time. And I figured, I want to get married, right? I want to have my kids. And I'll figure life after that. And that's exactly the goal that I had set for myself. I started doing what I wanted to do after my kids were in the 10th and 11th. So
Wow.
I feel women, need to, you're so busy just taking care of everybody else's needs. You need to just pause and think for yourself. Everyone's going to be there. Everyone's always going to need you. But you have to be there for yourself, because no one's going to think as much for you as much as you are going to think for yourself.
अभी तो रिवाइंड नहीं कर सकते, but 19 साल में इतनी अकल ही नहीं होती.
हाँ, पर एक
But
clarity होती
That's
है
what,
ना.
मतलब, and you had that clarity.
So
Fantastic.
I'm like, and my kids tease me today, like, who gets married at 19? I'm like, I did. I mean, of course, I had a ready-made boyfriend, so so it was a little easy, but but I mean, Sarina knows. Sarina knows my husband very well as well. So, I mean, but yeah, now coming back to your question, which is, I forgot Samir because I detoured.
I would repeat it because I have jotted it down on a piece of paper
Yeah, thank
and I
you.
will not miss a word.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is for all the three ladies. Again, I'm repeating.
Yes. Yes.
Lastly, what is the one advice that you would like to give to your younger self if you would have been 21?
I already told you that I was smart. So
Yes. And you were quite sorted. You had a ready-made boyfriend. You finished the family affair first, then you started with the
I'm
professional
like,
affair.
yeah, I want to travel. I want to finish my kids. So I made all those decisions. So maybe I'll pass the mic on.
Yes.
No, but I would say, like I said, I mean, if you put me back, at that age, what would I have? I would have definitely, few decisions I should have taken the advice of, like Sarina said, mentors and, family. But then I felt that, well, I have already planned all this for myself. So yes, I wish I had paid more attention to detail. I was the typical 19-year-old at that time. I'm just so lucky that somewhere along the way, the right mentors kicked in and they put me back, on track or whatever, professionally or career-wise or whatever. But I would say, yes, definitely attention to detail. That refined me as an individual and as a person or whatever, yeah.
Super. Thank you. Yes, Sarina ma'am.
That 21 number is so good. Whenever I
I
talk
wonder
to,
why 21?
whenever I talk at the universities where I go and talk, I look at them and I say, you guys are in such a lovely time of your life, and also the economy and the world. We had very few choices, very few courses we could do, and arts, commerce or science. Taj, Oberoi or Welcome Group. Yes, that's it. So I say to them, I wish I was 21 again, but I do say 50 can be 21, right, Samir?
Of course.
Yeah, so I mean, I look at all the young people and I say, I wish I was half as smart as them at that age, But yeah, what I would advise myself at 21, one man's opinion doesn't charter the course of your life. That's it.
As Sarina said, 21, I was just thinking, wow, was that a long time ago? But if I could, I think I was a very sentimental person at 21. And I would take things very personally. If somebody said this job is not done well, that would be equated to Malvika has not done it well or she is not good enough. I think that is my one advice, to look at the bigger picture, take a step back, breathe, go for a walk if that situation is troubling you, but do not take things very personally and keep looking at the bigger picture. And I will only say this once, lastly, that travel. If there is one piece of advice that I could give to the 21-year-old, see the world. I mean, you can start by seeing India first, but it is so underrated. It is going to change the way you think. It is going to challenge every notion that is seeped in your head, and also will tell you, when the world says it's not possible, it is possible and you can do it too. So that's what I'd say. Thank you.
Since all of them are professionals here, there's one thing that I definitely would want to suggest. I mean, I have not worked in a company, but I have different women in my team. I would say reach out for jobs which are not in your comfort zone, right? Like, look for something that is not in your department. Like, try to look, because that helps you really upskill. And that really opens you up to different teams, different people. And I think that really helps, like even in my own startup, I tell people, if you're in R&D, don't just get stuck in R&D. after about a year, go to the raw material, go to purchase, go to supply chain. Just because your degree defines you as a technical person doesn't mean your job has to be that, right? That really helps them open up, that really changes them as a person.
And keep the interest
Yes.
alive, the novelty
Yes,
factor.
exactly. So I see a lot of young women, a lot of you are here. So I would really tell you, do that. Reach out for jobs which are out of your comfort zone, right? That really will help.
Super. Thank you so very much, Sujatha, Sarina, Malvika. Very, very inspirational. And thank you to all the lovely ladies here. Wishing you all once again a very, very happy Women's Day.